Football Friday
New suit goofy
of this season, and it looks good.
feels good.
It looks real good.
Got that Cobra back, got that
Four-way stretch. They were looking and feeling good last night at the Link in Philly, the defending champs. And there's your owner and Jeffrey Lurie walking out with that Lombardi Trophy banner raised. This is before the first offensive snap from scrimmage. Jalen Carter post-game said he thought Dak was spitting at in his vicinity, so he retaliated by spitting directly on the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys under the lights in prime time. So he got immediately ejected 6 seconds into the game on this Cowboys drive. It's Prescott to CeeDee Lamb, 32-yard pickup. And the Cowboys were knocking. 2 plays later, Javonte Williams, what a debut for the Cowboys after spending his first 4 seasons with the Denver Broncos. Gives the Cowboys a 7-0 lead. But the Eagles respond with the quickness. Jalen Hurts surveying. He says, I'll just do it myself. They tie the ball game up, 7-0. We move to the second quarter. Javonte Williams, by this point, already has his second touchdown of the game. So Jalen Hurts says, anything you can do, well, I can do better. Surveying, looking for an open receiver. If only the Cowboys had somebody who could get to the quarterback so Hurts couldn't roam and do that. Find the end zone for the second time in the game. 14 rushes, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he did it through the air. The Jahan Dotson 51-yard pickup. The Eagles with a first down in Cowboys territory, which sets up this later on in the drive. 2nd and 5 from the Cowboys 10. Here's your 2,000-yard rusher from last season. What will he do as an encore? Saquon Barkley punches it in. The Cowboys were playing it close, though, because it was only 21-20 at the half, Randy.
They're trading punches. They were. The Brian Schottenheimer era off to a good offensive start. Here, rushing. Miles Sanders, former Eagle, put it on the ground. This is the only turnover of the game. Turnovers, tilt fields, and then you celebrate with a little, little tush push. Then the lightning came. 1 hour, 3 minutes, lightning crashes, and oh mother cries. Let's go to the fourth quarter. After they pick this thing up, Cowboys still trailing by 4. Prescott. How about the new guy, George Pickens? Wasn't targeted a ton. Did manage to haul it in for 15 yards, 3 grabs for 30 total yards. I'm not saying that as somebody who hasn't on a fantasy team. And then Dak going back to the well. CeeDee Lamb, and Gary hit him in a horrible spot.
Both hands.
Right in both hands and the chest. Eagles got a couple of hands on it as well. Lamb unable to come down with it. Had a career-high 3 drops in this game. And you're like, Randy, show me another one. Got you, fam. 4th and 3. Lamb.
Gotta have it.
Now, he had to lay out for it. And just like a cold stone, gotta have it. Gotta have it. And
Is that the big one?
Hit him right in the hands, I think so. Down to the ground. Prescott said, I'm not going to get down on him. He's going to make those plays. Well, now Jalen Hurts, 1 first down, and this thing could be done. He got it. 62 yards on the ground for him. He was the game's leading rusher. But all of the focus post-game after the Eagles win, after Jalen Hurts improved to 5-0 in the season openers, was what happened early in this game.
Are you worried you might be suspended?
I get, that text or that call, and by that conversation, then we'll handle it as then.
Jalen, when it happened, were you like in a fit of rage, or what was your?
No, I was calm. I walked off the field calmly. I was not mad. That's pretty much. I couldn't really do nothing else. The ref decision is the ref decision on the situation.
You should be more. Did Dak say anything, or was there anything that just made you walk over there?
I don't know. When things started to come out and you start seeing things, then we can go off that. But I don't got nothing to say about it. I'm just trying to make sure the team's straight.
All right, good to get a couple minutes here with Tedy Bruschi as we continue to sort of peel back on this Jalen Carter situation. Teddy, you're a captain in your playing days with the New England Patriots, to be sure. If you're one of the leaders in this Eagles locker room, what's your message after getting a win, but also potentially losing Jalen Carter now to a suspension for that spitting incident?
Well, once you get over the disbelief of what you saw and what your teammate did, it's just making sure it doesn't happen again, really. I mean, this is something that's got to be one of the worst decisions I've ever seen. I mean, and especially, fellas, in the preseason, the NFL emphasized sportsmanship. So you have your meetings in the team meeting room, and your head coach goes over this emphasis, right? They send you tapes on emphasis on what's going to be called, and then this is what happens. this is a total lack of awareness. I mean, there was also a taunting by Nolan Smith. So Nick Sirianni, he's going to reel in his team and say, hey, fellas, we need to push the reset button here because we don't understand that this emphasis is serious. That's what you usually know going into the year. But as a captain, talking to Jalen, I mean, this is a possible suspension because when they emphasize something like this, safety of the quarterback, right, was an emphasis one year. The defenseless receiver, I mean, even we're going back even further than that. And then you know that penalties, suspensions, fines, they'll come out for that. Sportsmanship is what it is this year with the NFL and stuff like this. I mean, this is the opening kickoff before the first play on the signature game that every NFL fan is watching. And there's your sportsmanship in the National Football League. One of your best defensive players spits on Dak Prescott. It's not what you're looking for.
Tedy has played this game. He's been around this game for decades. To make this man make that face of like, what did I just see?
I
like,
don't even know.
I know. Like,
you can't make this up. You can't make it up, fellas.
If he is suspended, even if just for a game, week 2 is that Super Bowl rematch between the Eagles and the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Meanwhile, Cowboys, they allowed 158 rushing yards in this loss, 2 scrambling touchdowns by Jalen Hurts, 1 rushing score by Saquon Barkley. Stopping the run was part of Jerry Jones's reasoning for this trade of Micah Parsons to Green Bay. So what did you see from the Dallas defense last night?
I would say at times they did. They did a very good job of it also. I think Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, made some great adjustments in the second half, sent some pressure. They got some tackles for loss. I mean, a lot of those rushing yards is the quarterback, and that, I mean, a lot of Dallas fans will look at it as that's the Micah effect here when you have a pass rush plan, all right? You got man coverage behind you like this one right here, and you got your edge rushers going inside, then all of a sudden, I mean, this is Jordan Mailata just manhandling somebody right there, then Jalen Hurts just running for a first down. This is, you know, you game plan for these type of rushing yards, but the focus is Saquon, and they bottled up Saquon. They just couldn't execute the plan in terms of finishing on Jalen Hurts. And fellas, it's hard, all right? Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, you can have the perfect defensive down, and I thought at times Dallas did have. They matched the right routes well, but then there's the extra element of a play that you don't game plan against, and you don't, I mean, the structure of it's broken, and then Jalen runs, and that's where, you know, a top quality rusher like Micah Parsons could have helped you last night.
All right, the Cowboys get the Giants in week 2. Tedy Bruschi on SportsCenter. Thank you.
The Packers and the Detroit Lions, a huge, huge game. This, of course, is Micah Parsons' first game with the Green Bay Packers, and he had this to say about the Detroit Lions.
Trick plays are for people who can't beat you straight up. It's like a guy running around the ring all day trying to jab, but meet me in the middle. You know what I mean? Let's line it up. And I think that's what guys who try to do trick plays do. They can't beat you head up. They don't want to out-physical you. They don't want to be dominant. It's a scared tactic, I guess, but, you know, I can beat you any which way.
A scared tactic, trick plays. Lions are known for that. Ben Johnson maybe takes him with him to Chicago. We'll see if the Lions still do that stuff. I would think they would, as Dan Campbell is obviously a risk taker and risks have worked out well for him. But Smalls, you like your brand new superstar defender already talking trash about the Lions?
Of course you do. Of course you like Micah Parsons going out there and saying this about the Lions and setting the tone week 1. We know who Micah Parsons is as a player and a person. He's unafraid of anyone. But for him to say that, for him to come out and make that statement and be so bold in his distaste for the Detroit Lions, I believe him when he says that, but I also think he's very much ingratiating himself into his new team and his new fan base. You don't love it. I see the face.
I don't love it, and I'm just gonna put this out there. And I realize Parsons wasn't on the field for this, but the Detroit Lions did play his team, the Dallas Cowboys, last year in Week 6, and they boat raced them to the tune of 47-9.
Different team, different circumstances.
You talk about meeting you in the middle. I mean, they punched him in the mouth. They ran the ball for 184 yards. They bet him in the middle, and they rolled their asses up out of there.
They did it to everybody last year.
Yeah, they did it to everybody. The Detroit Lions have owned the Green Bay Packers. Owned them. I'm sorry, Smalls, I gotta say it. They've owned them. Since that Week 18 game in 2021, they have owned the Green Bay Packers. They've won 6 of the last 7 games. They got a 3-game win streak in Lambeau. They've owned them. So I understand that you're trying to project confidence. But you know what you can do? Go out there and actually prove it. Go out there and let your pads do the talking. This is one of those instances when you need to have a nice cup of shut the hell up and just go out there on the field and show that things are different now that you're in Green Bay. Show that you can have that Reggie White or Charles Woodson-esque impact on the Green Bay Packers franchise, because that's what they're paying you for. They're not paying you to talk, whether it's with the beat writers or whether it's on your podcast. That's not what they're paying you for. This ain't the Dallas Cowboys. It ain't about being a soap opera. The Green Bay Packers about winning championships.
You're right about that, and they need to, starting this year. They need to get back to that. But one of the things we talked about with Micah Parsons, not only did the Green Bay Packers want him, of course, for his game-wrecking production on the field, but you kept saying for a young group, bringing in somebody like that who has influence on a locker room could be important. And could this be him setting the tone? Saying, all right, I looked at this team. What was standing in their way last year? Well, it was the Vikings and the Lions. They won a combined 15-3 in one-score games last season. We cannot let that happen again. We need to make sure that we narrow that margin for error and we come out victorious on the other side. You said it. The Lions have owned them.
Owned them.
Could this be Micah Parsons trying to set the tone for his teammates, for those young guys in the locker room? We're not afraid of them. We're not afraid of what they can do. We see through the trick plays, and they don't have Ben Johnson anymore. We see through the offense and how electric it is, and we're not afraid of it.
Well, let's put our money where our mouths are. ESPN Bet, ESPN Radio Pick'em Challenge. Right now, one of our games, Lions and Packers, will go up against all of our friends on our ESPN Radio shows here. What do we think? Lions and Packers. Packers favored by 1.5.
I'm going with the Lions. I'll take the Lions.
I'm rolling with the Packers.
I'll roll with the Packers, too.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions. I mean, they're going to win outright. I mean, it's 1.5. It's not a huge number, but I think the Lions win outright. Too much physicality for the Green Bay Packers at this juncture. They're going to realize what championship football is all about.
Tides are turning, by the way. I want to just let the audience know. There's going to be a point within the next week or two where CeCe's going to come on the air and say, I would have traded Micah Parsons too. I don't care how late it was, and I suggested to trade him earlier, and it's all his fault. That's happening. That's happening. Tides are turning. CeCe will blame Micah Parsons for everything with the Dallas Cowboys. We're on Sportsman.